Brilliance Audio presents Last Shot by Gregg Hurwitz, performed by Scott Brick. The mood inside was nice and mellow, until Spook taped razor blades to his hands and slashed up 2 Aryan brothers and half a correctional officer. So that meant Terminal Island was on edge and the population unshaved, disposable razors being accountable items the screws hadn't kept accountable. Every morning this week, Walker had to stand in line with the other boarders for his shot with a piece of shit Norelco, the CO dipping the cutting head in barbicide between shearings. The inside heated up in August. Air like fever. Men slept worse, got antsy, got violent. Some, like Spook, got creative. Walker steered clear, as always, of the ensuing bullshit. He kept out of the yard. Too much trouble brewing. To sit on the stacked footlockers in his house upstairs and take in the sights. 2 wind-battered palm trees, row of dumpsters, anchor resting atop a concrete pillar at the Coast Guard facility across the way, all strained through 2 layers of chain link and some nifty coils of razor wire. The view wasn't much, but it was all he had. He loved the 2 palms, Sally and Jean Ann. Loved how their crowns could hold the evening light, bathed in gold a good half hour after the grounds were puddled in shadow. If he matched his face to the concrete wall, he could make out the edge of a 3rd tree, but he didn't know that one well enough to name her. Walker pulled back from the iron bars and regarded his house. He knew this place well, too. All 6 by 8 of it. Bunk beds, metal, 1 solid piece. Stainless steel toilet and sink. Technically the walls were supposed to be bare, but by the window Walker had used chewing gum to put up a picture of Tess, mostly because he didn't know what else to do with it. Aside from the photo and a few cigarette burns on his footlocker, he hadn't made much of an imprint on the place in 2.5 years. His cellie, a soft-spoken rapist renamed Imad, had been more active in his nesting. An Arabic phrase, rendered in gold calligraphy, glittered from a black velvet banner. Below it a postcard of a mosque was stuck to the wall with paste, since he claimed that chewing gum contained, Allah forbid, gelatin. A prayer rug, woven from lovingly twisted cords of toilet paper, stood rolled up in a corner. Atop the frayed end, safely above belly level, rested a worn Quran, the leather binding long gone to pieces. Imad, who was well-behaved and aggressively introverted, tolerated Walker as Walker tolerated him. Yesterday Imad had drunk ammonia with his cup of noodles, his puking buying him a lay-in at the infirmary so he wouldn't have to mix with the general pop. A good move for a model prisoner, given the smoke on the horizon. After Spook's chic escapade, the guerrillas and the Aryans were due to let more blood. And the Cholos weren't about to get left out either. The Norteño cell lieutenant's punk had gone renegade and gotten picked up by a jocker from Soreños, stoking the embers of a dormant vendetta. An unnatural silence had permeated the block the past few nights. Convicts were stockpiling food. Despite the heat, gang members only ventured out in canvas jackets, padding their undershirts with magazines and newspapers as insurance against stickings. It was like gas had been leaking through the grounds all week, and everyone was holding their breath, waiting for somebody to strike a match. Walker's right arm sported a dark comma above the biceps, Yin of yin-yang fame. Tommy LaRue from D-Block was the inkslinger, but the tattoo had gone unfinished after his kit was confiscated in the wake of the May riot. Walker had smuggled the needles out of Unicor, where the prisoner toiled for $1.20 an hour, stitching and packing and making useful things like paper targets, so cops could practice shooting them. He'd shoved the needles beneath the surface of his heel callus and delivered them to LaRue, who tied them with a shoelace to the point of a pencil. The ink was easy. Burn a Bic pen filler heroin style in a spoon, then mix the soot with toothpaste and soap. The lace soaks up the ink. The needles open the skin, and, had no shakedown occurred, Walker would have gotten his yang,